Blog Talk Radio.
All right, good evening, everybody. So this is Elizabeth with L3 Brand Live, and so tonight we're going to be talking with some of the employees at the Smithfield tarheel plant in North Carolina. There are a number of concerns because of the growing numbers of positive coronavirus or COVID-19 cases that are popping up at the plant right now, and so I've heard so many horrific things. I've heard a lot of concerns about not only the safety of the employees, but concerns about them taking the virus possibly home to their families. And so what I'm going to do is bring some of the employees on the line. We're going to go ahead and jump right in since we're a few minutes behind and allow the employees just to tell a little bit about what's going on out there and how they feel about it. I think it's important that we look at the fact that it likely needs to be shut down because the social distancing can only go but so far in this type of environment. So we're going to go ahead and bring the first caller on the line. I'm going to unmute your mic here and allow you to go ahead and tell everybody just a little bit about your experience there at Smithfield. All right, caller number 1, you're live.
Hey, I just want to let everyone know the social distancing thing is not working. Another thing is they don't care about their employees. We're being around people who tested positive. We want to go get checked to make sure we're not positive. And they're fine with us going to get checked to make sure we're not positive. But if we come back negative, we don't get paid. So if the doctor keeps us out for 14 days of quarantine to make sure that, we don't have it or, if we have it, we get paid. If we don't have it, we don't get paid. They just started last week putting in hand sanitizers. They just took the benches out Saturday because they heard CDC is coming through the building to check out what's going on? Are they doing everything to keep everybody safe?
Wow.
This job don't care about us.
So I had a few questions for you. Do you personally feel that Smithfield should shut down temporarily? And well, the why is obvious, but, why specifically, if you do feel that way, do you feel they should shut down?
Yes, I feel like they should shut down temporarily because they really need to clean and everybody needs to go get tested. If they shut down for 14 days, everybody go get tested. First day, the second day, they'll know if, who's positive, who's negative, and then, we can start back then. But as far as keeping it running, we just there. And they don't care if you got it, if you're sick. They just want the hogs going.
Right. Well, I'm so sorry. And I just wanted to find out, in your opinion, how many cases have you heard on the job that are possibly positive there?
Heard around from people that we work with, maybe 19. From HR, we haven't heard anything that we know of. Maybe a couple supervisors has it, but other than that, we don't know. They're not going to tell us. I understand they can't tell us their names, but let us know how many are in our department around us, something. They're not going to tell us that.
Right. And that's definitely unfair. So do you feel that your job places any value on its employees?
They don't care about their employees. Look about the shooting that happened at Smithfield. They got up there on the news and lied and said we had metal detectors. How we got metal detectors if we wear steel-toe boots? Smithfield walking in there that's probably got a whipping on them now. They don't know.
Well, there's definitely been a lot of conversations that go on constantly about this particular location. And our concern with L3 brand is that there's a lot of people being put at risk. And, there's essential jobs, of course, that are out here. But when it comes down to it, we have to value lives over the economy. And we have to value family over, paying bills and things like that, because of the fact that right now it's important for everyone to be safe, and then we can get back to what we were doing before the virus happened. So did you have any other comments or things that you would like to say before we go ahead to the next caller?
I just want to let everyone know, Smithfield don't care about the employees who are working on the line. It's easier for the supervisors or the superintendent, upper management, to go to the office and say they feel sick. They get to go home. They still going to get paid because they're on salary. But if we want to go home and get tested, we're not going to get paid if it comes back negative, but we'll get paid if it comes back positive. So if it comes back negative, when we go to work, we eventually, what if it happens next following week, we come back positive? They don't care.
Have they sent anyone home at this point in time on their own, or has everyone had to express that they were sick or having symptoms?
They sent some lines home where the supervisors and crew leaders have tested positive. But if you go up there on your own, let them know that you've been in contact with this person and what's going on with that situation. They will. Whatever the doctor said, you can go home. We're not going to keep you here. You're not going to get no point. You just won't get paid unless you come back positive. That ain't right.
I definitely have to agree with you on that. Well, I do appreciate you calling in and sharing your thoughts with us. I would definitely love for you to stay on the line there. I'm going to check and see what other callers we have on here. And if you would like to speak again or have another comment, just press 1 on the line and I'll bring you back on.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, guys. So you just heard from one of the employees, and, it hurts to hear the frustration in their voices. It hurts to get the messages I've been getting for the 2 weeks now. Employees have been concerned. It hasn't just started today. And so what I set out to do was to just bring attention to this issue, because it definitely needs to be a change. Whether they're going to shut down for a week or 2 weeks, which is the typical time to quarantine, something needs to be done, because the workers are contacting me and they're saying they're being overworked at this point because so many employees are calling out or walking off the job, and it's making it nearly impossible to continue work as it's supposed to be. So I'm going to look and see if anyone is on the line that would like to speak. Go ahead and press 1, and that will allow your phone to be unmuted so that we can bring you on to speak. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and unmute the next caller here, and you can let me know whenever you're on the line. Give me just 1 second. All right, caller number 2,
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you fine.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm doing well, and how are you?
I'm doing good.
Okay. Well, I just wanted to bring you on the line here and see what thoughts or comments or questions that you had. Are you one of the employees at Smithfield?
Yes, ma'am. I'm an employee at Smithfield. And my concern is that I just feel like the plant needs to shut down for 14 days, get everybody quarantined, so nobody will be at risk, because We got families at home. I know that we are essential workers, that the world needs food, but our safety comes first.
Right. Definitely. And have you had any close encounters or frightening experiences yourself on the job?
Yes, ma'am. The guy that he was at work, like one day was at work working fine, and I think that he got a phone call or something happened. He left work. He came back. Well, he didn't come back. He called back, and he told us that he was positive for coronavirus. Nobody in HR, nobody informed us, nobody told us. He was there among us working, walking around like everything was fine. He didn't know his own self because he said that he had went to the doctor prior, like this Saturday. He said he was having a fever, and he went to the doctor, and they checked him and they gave him some medicine and told him that he had strep throat. So they was actually treating him for a strep throat, I think. That was on a Saturday. He came back to work, I want to say it had to be either Wednesday or Tuesday because he was there working. But he didn't know that he was positive. But he was among people. He worked close contact with everybody inside of our area. So it kind of bothered me because I'm trying to figure out how did he get through the temperature check that we have there in the morning, that everybody comes through the temperature check. But this guy was positive, and he came through the temperature check. Maybe it was the medicine that he was on that was helping him walk past it. But I do know that he was positive, and he came back to work, and he worked a full day.
Wow. I can only imagine, the feeling just to be able to have to work in fear. And again, like I said before, I'm just so sorry that's happening. It's affecting everyone globally. However, when you're forced to work, and a lot of people seem to be concerned about losing their jobs, it's just not fair. It's not fair for you, not fair for any of the employees, and for the families and loved ones that they have to go home to. And so,
but me personally, I'm afraid. I went to my doctor today. My doctor took me out of work. I'm not going back to work. I went to the doctor today myself because I don't want to be in there. I haven't tested positive. I haven't, I had some prior issues. My blood pressure was up, and it's just really got me to the point to where I'm stressed, and I don't want to be there. So I went to the doctor today myself, and my blood pressure was up, and they took me out of work for the next couple of days, and I'm going tomorrow to get tested. I'm going to use this time while I'm out to go get tested because as long as you're there working, you can't get tested because the line that I work on, I go to work I have to be there at 6:15 in the morning. Sometimes I have to work over. So by the time I get off of work, most doctor's offices and places that's testing, I can't even get tests. So I had to take it upon myself to go to the ER to basically get out of work so I can go and get tested.
Wow. So the question that I was asking everyone on the line tonight, just so that we can get a clear count of those that call in, do you feel that Smithfield should shut down temporarily, and why?
Yes, ma'am. It needs to shut down so it can disinfect, so it can clean, so everybody can get tested.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for calling in. Again, you can stay on the line as well if you have any other comments. Just press 1 on the line, and I'll come back around to you. Thank you.
All right.
All right. So we have talked to 2 employees from Smithfield at Tar Heel tonight, and we're going to go ahead and bring another employee on, or I'm not sure if this is just someone calling in with a comment. So I have you live on the line. How are you?
I'm good.
I'm well. How are you?
I'm great. I'm very concerned. I am a former employee of Smithfield Packing Tar Heel plant, the largest pork-producing plant in the world, not the country. Let's keep that in mind. They have a lot of employees there. They have added a distribution center, and that's what makes me even more concerned. The numbers have been growing here in North Carolina, and when you think about it, at the end of the day, a lot of people, because there's been whistleblowers now, which is a good thing, a lot of people are going to get tested now at Smithfield. And now that they're getting tested, it's one of those that, now that they're getting tested, a lot of positive cases are being recorded, right? So now I've been saying for the past 2 weeks, these numbers in North Carolina are about to skyrocket, okay? I called the news WRAL a few nights ago because I'm part of the group. They have a Facebook group called The Talk, and it's Smithfield employees and former employees. And I've been watching and seeing, like, how everyone's concerned. So I called WRAL. I let them know they were going to protest the next morning. Unfortunately, it wasn't a large protest. Everyone didn't know about it. So I got a call from the news journalist the next morning at 7 a.m., and I had the news on, and he's like, Miranda, are they going to protest or not? I said, hey, I'm on it. I'm checking with people. There's people I don't even know sending me pictures from the inside of they're not doing, like, social distancing. The news wanted those pictures. I seen today the news actually broke, like, policy and went onto the plant property today in the parking lot. They are not allowed on there, but they did it. The news team told me, if it doesn't matter how many people are protesting, we will come overhead in a chopper. Everyone knows how serious this is. I pray for everyone out there because Smithfield has never, it's always been like this. It didn't have to be a novel disease to come about. Novel means new, different, something you've never heard of before. I'm going to school right now to go get my degree to work for CDC, for Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. And for that to be going on, and then I know what I'm going to get my degree for, this is in my area. And I'm just so concerned because they are very negligent. They will not shut down. I've watched an interview with the CEO. That same morning, the news team called me saying that they will not shut down because if they shut down, it's going to be a shortage of meat in the country for humanity pretty much. I don't think anyone's going to really look at that like, you know, we already had a shortage of meat a few weeks ago, okay? It doesn't matter. We're still going to eat, okay? That plant needs to shut down for at least 2 weeks. They need to sanitize, not once, not twice, more than that. They have numerous cases out there. They're sweeping it under the rug because that's what they are known to do. They keep sweeping it under the rug. People are terrified. People's superintendents, their supervisors, their line leaders, they are coming up positive. Those supervisors are close contact within 1 feet of each other and correspond with each other throughout their shift every day. I know this for a fact because I used to work there. And then one girl said she works in a department, and she said, we share a pen. All 27 workers in that department share a pen because when they're signing stuff, they send that same pen hand in hand to everybody. It came from the supervisor. Everyone in that department was exposed. And then the line leader was sent home 2 days after the supervisor went ghost and disappeared. Yeah, they said he has coronavirus. It's a trickle effect, okay? You have numerous departments there. And when you have a line leader that deals with 20 people a day at least, those people go out for their lunch break and they deal with however many other people from different departments that they know. They go back to their departments and they deal with people. Smithfield at one time had like 1,000+ workers, okay, when I was working there. Now they have the distribution center, which is on the property. There's over 6,000 workers there. This is negligence. They are good for denying unemployment. They do that. They were doing that. That's not just because of what's going on with the pandemic right now. They were already doing that. So imagine in this situation, just like the young lady just said, if you test negative, they're not going to pay you. But someone said, well, they told him he's going to be paid for all the days out as long as he gets his test. You just got to get tested like the first day you're out. You know what I mean? Show proof of that. You know, they sent him across the street where they have a clinic across the street where they have a drug testing lab and all that. They went over there and got tested. People can go over there and get tested. There's also Next Care in Fayetteville, North Carolina as well, which is on Glensford in front of Kohl's and Old Navy and Barnes & Nobles. They are doing testing from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., and I believe they are giving results back the same day. Now, Smithfield across the street, they're giving results back, I believe it's 3 to 5 days. But everyone, they're mindful. They are. They're scared. They're terrified. They're going home to families. You know, people don't know. It's so much uncertainty. And for the staff to be the way they are, they're all about just trying to make money. Even when there's snowstorms and there's hurricanes, I remember when Hurricane Matthew came through and it hit landfall in South Carolina. It was flooding here. They didn't let them go home. I broke my wrist in the grocery store the night before, so I didn't go to work. Thank God I didn't, because they didn't send them home till 11 a.m. They had been there since like 6 in the morning, and it was a Saturday. So many people I worked with, they lost their cars because when they got out to the parking lot, the water was all the way up so high. When they opened it, their car was destroyed. I mean, they don't care. They don't care. They don't try to prevent anything. It's just whatever happens, happens. You know, they're more about, they're trying to put it on right now of a shortage of food. You know, when you look at it, like you said, are you going to worry about the money or are you going to worry about your life, right? It's basically saying wealth over health or health over wealth. I'm going to choose health over wealth. And I can tell a lot of people out there, they're choosing health over wealth, the people I see on the Facebook page. But then you have a lot of people steadily going in there, not down to protest. They don't want to do it. And why? Because they're scared. That place is like a slave plantation. When I worked there, that place is like a prison yard. It's like a high school yard where it's lunchtime. It's ridiculous. You know, they hire any and everybody, and they will recycle you. You know, you say you're not expendable. Like, human life is not expendable, but they make it seem like it. Because every single Friday they have more green hats. Green hats are new people. And they bring them in, about 20, 30 of them. They probably fired about 20 or 30 people that week. And they bring in a whole nother group of people. It's a recycling factor there. They don't care. Wow. However, just like everybody's been saying, they can protest. They're not going to fire all of you, though. They are Smithfield. Right. Everyone who's out there, they are Smithfield. They're the reason why they make the money they make. But they really do need to shut down for at least 2 weeks. Allow everyone to get tested, because as long as they're there working these long hours, because they're extending the hours right now because they have large orders because of everything that's happening with this pandemic. Those people don't even have time to go to the doctor. They didn't even have time to go to the doctor before. So they can't even go to the doctor to get tested. They don't have time. They're always at work.
Right. I really appreciate you sharing so much. You've given us a lot of information, and it's I'm just in shock from just based off from what you're sharing. I want you to stay on the line for me, and thank you so much for sharing once again. I'm going to go ahead and catch
you guys need to do this again, and you need to go. You need to go for longer than 30 minutes next time. I'm telling you, a lot of people, I'm sure.
We actually extended it until 12, but I just wanted to try to catch and see who else. Yes, definitely stay on the line, and then I'll bring it back around if everyone's gotten their questions in. Thank you so much.
All right, great. You're welcome.
All right, guys. So, wow, that was an earful there. It's just it's a lot that's coming out. There's a lot that's been said about what's happening at Smithfield over the years, but this in particular is something that really hits home. I personally have family out there at Smithfield at tarheel, and that's concerning. It's really concerning to me, but not just because of my personal family connections. It's important because I don't want to see anybody going through what they're going through. So before I keep going, I'm going to go ahead and bring a couple other people on the line. I see someone else wants to speak, the phone number ending 84. I'm going to go ahead and bring you on now. All right, you're live on the line. Hello, can you hear me? Okay, let's see. We will go on to the next caller for the moment. All right, so, okay, here we go. It looks like we might have gotten back on the line. Phone number ending 84.
Hello?
All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
All right. Did you have a question or a comment, or are you an employee at Smithfield?
I'm an employee at Smithfield.
Okay. And did you have a particular comment that you wanted to share tonight? Or did you just want to chime in on whether or not you think that Smithfield should shut down?
Yes, Smithfield should shut down.
Okay. And what is your personal experience there? And you don't have to give any more information than you choose to, but just briefly share with us what your personal experience is and why you think it should shut down for 2 weeks.
My personal experience is I just spoke with the supervisor last week and told her about the brushing of the teeth in the ladies' restroom from the Mexican females with the splattering all over the mirror and all over us. That's been going on the whole 4 or 5 years that I've been there. And she said that she would bring it to someone's attention. But I see that they haven't. All the coughing without covering their mouths, all the runny nose dripping down on the meat, all the unsanitized gloves. All of a sudden now you let us go every 30 minutes and dip our green gloves in sanitizer. Before we could exchange our gloves on a daily basis if we needed to. But gloves are going outside the plant with meat on them and coming back in the plant the next day with the same meat on it. That is unsanitary. I've worked in food service and custodian for 19 years. They nasty. Females going in the bathroom, not washing their hands, coming out. We have a cycle. I don't, but some of them do. You're leaving all kind of sanitary napkins, this, that, and the third, and you still not washing your hands. So I have to argue with a few people sometimes, letting them know how nasty that they are, letting them know it's contagious. What you're doing is very contagious. Supervisors don't care. They just want you to be productive. Get the meat out, get the meat out, get the meat out. Not good. I have a low immune system. I have issues with my blood pressure and anxiety, but they don't care. But they say our life come first. No, ma'am, not at all. And if you speak up, you labeled the troublemaker. The troublemaker,
right.
the troublemaker, the troublemaker. They're going to wait till somebody die, and by Smithfield being $1 billion company, they are insured. They are insured. They could care less. We don't have that kind of money to get those type lawyers that they have. So we're not protected at all. And the union just sucks. They're supposed to protect us, but they are the main ones telling these people, go home, don't mention it. We'll take care of it. Go home, don't mention it. We will take care of it. That is just pathetic.
Well, that's a hard pill to swallow there. There's a lot that you just shared with us. I'm shocked, and I know everybody listening is shocked as well.
They're not shocked. They just don't want to say anything. They're not shocked. They just don't want to say anything because they have their bills to pay, and they're afraid of losing their job. And like the lady said, they've never been a company to pay unemployment, so they don't give a hoot. They know that at this time we are dependent on that job because we don't have another one. Right. We are dependent on that job at this time, but I can walk off because my life is worth more than $500. They're giving out $600 in unemployment every week. So the unemployment people that are unemployed are getting more than us anyway. Overwork, 10 hours a day mandatory. For what? Why are we working 10 hours a day? But now they said no more overtime. I guess not because we overworked. First shift have to work 10 hours every day. Every day. We're supposed to get off every day at 3:15. We get off at 5 and 5:30. We get on the line at 6:15. People tired of working 60 and 70 hours a week.
Right. Wow. That's all I can say as well. I definitely appreciate your comments as well. Before I let you go, is there any type of hazard pay or any type of changes to the pay that have been put in place there at Smithfield that you know of?
No, ma'am. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. I'm choosing health over wealth because I have grandkids and I love them, but that is an institutionalized prison. That is an institutionalized prison, and it looks just like the Lumberton Correctional Facility where my brother had 2 life sentences and he died. He died in there. It looks just like the Lumberton Correctional Facility.
Well, I appreciate your comments, and it gives us a lot to think about. I'm going to go ahead and check to see if anyone else has comments or questions tonight before we get ready to wrap up shortly. Thank you so much for calling.
A lot of them that's on there tonight, all they're going to do is go to HR and tell them, oh, that's so-and-so. You can't verify my voice, and even if you can, I'm not scared.
Right. Well, hopefully it's a time where everybody can stick together, and
not at Smithfield.
It's about a common cause.
Not at Smithfield. They don't stick together, especially our people, especially us.
Well, I will. I'm keeping everyone in prayer. I don't know, a lot of people probably don't believe in prayer, but I'm personally keeping everyone in prayer because I think it's essential right now. We're going through a really rough time.
Yes, we have to pray.
In general.
We have to pray.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and check now.
Thank you for having
if you have
us.
another question. You as well.
No,
thank you so much for calling
us.
in. All right. Let's see here who we have on the line. Anyone else that would like to speak tonight, please go ahead and press 1 on your phone, and that'll let me know that you'd like to ask a question or give a comment. Or I can probably take 2 or 3 more callers if you'd like to speak. So go ahead and press 1 on your phone. Okay, let's see. All right, this looks like a private number, so I'm going to go ahead and unmute you. I think you're next. All right, hello, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so are you an employee at Smithfield, or are we calling in with a question or a comment tonight?
Ma'am, I'm an employee at Smithfield.
Okay, and go ahead and share with us what you'd like to say about what's going on at the Tar Heel plant.
I ain't going to say a whole lot other than, it's just sad that we as employees have no resolutions. We have no go-to because we have to fear losing our jobs. Single moms with kids and, me, myself, I personally have lung issues and breathing issues, and I have children, and my child has breathing issues, and I have another child who has diabetes, and, we're in fear. Like, I'm terrified to go to work because if I catch this and bring this home to my children, their lives are at risk, and it's like you go to them and you tell them, hey, our lives are at risk, we need some resolutions, we need some help, we need something to happen. And they just look at us like, if you walk out, you don't get paid. If you walk out, you lose your job. Well, my life is more important, and it just bothers me because I feel like I've only been there a few years, but the time that I've been there, they've never put their employees first. So the lady that's all on the news talking about Smithfield employees is number one priority. No, we're not. We are last priority. The only thing they care about is making their money, and that's it. They don't care about anything. They care about the hogs and the money. That's it. Sit in there and just make us do whatever and just throw us to the wolves to get sick. They don't care if we get sick and die because you know what? If we fall dead on that floor, they're going to push us over and put somebody right in our spot. That's how they treat us. We're nothing but a number to them. It's time for Smithfield people, employees, to stand up for ourselves, stand up for each other. We have to stand up for each other and love each other and pray for each other and work through this together. And the only way that we can do that is we got to bond together and stand against Smithfield itself because Smithfield isn't standing for us. Smithfield doesn't care about us. And I'm frustrated, I'm angry. I'm tired of it, And you don't know who to trust because you don't know if people can run back and say, oh, so-and-so said this and so-and-so is trying to get Smithfield shut in. You don't know who to trust. You don't know who to talk to. You don't know what to say because, at the end of the day, if they find out, oh, well, such and such was on this thing talking, they could come for my job. Of course, they're going to make up another reason to fire me because they can't legit fire me for talking to you about the situation at hand. They can't fire me for that. But they're going to try to make up a reason and gun for my job because I'm speaking out and I'm standing up for myself and I'm standing up for my fellow employees. I have a lot of friends out there at Smithfield. I have family out there. I myself am an employee out there, and just for them to throw us to the wolves like we're nothing for us, they don't even care if we get sick. And then the fact that they hide us out there is even worse. How can you hide that?
Right.
Right,
that's
danger.
The first thing that sparked my attention as well.
And then you want to tell me that you're going to give me $500? You're going to give me $500 if I don't miss a day of work, and I got lung issues? I have sick children? Man, please, that $500 ain't. You're going to tax it and give me $248. I don't need it anyway. It's crazy.
Yes, it definitely sounds like.
I'm sorry.
It just sounds like something from a movie, but I appreciate you calling in, and everyone has really opened my eyes, and I know a lot of other listeners' eyes tonight. So I'm going to go ahead and check with a couple other callers here before we close out. Thank you again for speaking, and if you have any other comments you'd like to share, press 1 before we close out the call.
Yes, ma'am. I'll just be praying for all my fellow employees at Smithfield. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, guys. So I see a few people that still looks like they wanted to speak and some that that already spoke tonight. So if you want to do me a favor, if you have already spoken and you don't want to speak again, go ahead and press 1 again. to take down your request to speak. If you still like to ask a question or make another comment before we close out, go ahead and press 1 if you haven't already. Let's see. I'm going to go ahead and unmute a couple lines here. And if you'd like to say something, then I'll give you a chance to. I'm just going to say the last couple numbers of your number. Caller with the number ending 30, I'm going to unmute you first. And if you'd like to speak, I'll give you an opportunity. Let's see. All right. All right, caller, can you hear me, or would you like to say something? Okay, so I'll go ahead and mute your line back. All right, guys, so once again, just to make sure, because a lot of people still have their hand up, so to speak tonight. If you don't want to speak, go ahead and press 1, and that will drop you off from the wait list. If you would like to speak and you don't already have your hand raised, then press 1 as well on there. What you can also do, if you're not able to get through, just hang up and call right back in. You'll still be able to get through. We have a few more minutes before we close up. And just make sure to press 1 when you call back in, and that'll let me know you would like to say something. But tonight in general, just to kind of sum things up, we've had a number of employees to call in, not so much to call in just to complain, but people are calling in because they're afraid. They're afraid of what's going to happen to them, first of all, for speaking out. They're afraid of going into the job and possibly being exposed to the virus. They're afraid of taking the virus home if they are exposed, to their families, to their loved ones, to their babies. And it's rightfully so for you to be afraid and to be upset, because you're basically being forced to continue on at this job. Being seen as essential is something that a lot of people might not really want to have as their title right now. It's not something that they're willingly doing. They're doing it because they don't have another choice. I often think about those that are working with autoimmune issues and diseases, and there's no other option for them. I know it's got to be more than frightening, especially just considering what's at stake. Your income, your livelihood, and being able to pay your bills and keep a roof over your head, keep your power on, and food on your table. So I commend all the employees. I thank you so much for everything that you've done, for helping to keep food on the tables for so many households, taking care of your own household and providing for all of us. However, I would love to see Smithfield at Tar Heel, Smithfield as a whole, and other jobs in general. I would like to see these companies take perspective and put perspective back into place. I just really want them to put people first again, put lives first again. It's just, it's concerning because people are crying out for help and there's nowhere to turn. It's concerning because people are walking out of their jobs and not knowing what their next step is going to be. So you guys just stay encouraged. Everyone, I think, on the line tonight was for Smithfield shutting down for up to 2 weeks to allow things to be disinfected and quarantined. I think that's the least that this plant can do. You have to be able to put your employees first at some point in time. And why not start now? We're in a global crisis, and we have people everywhere panicking, not knowing what to do, not knowing who to turn to. We can't necessarily rely on our government. And there's no other option here in my opinion. I think the only right thing to do is to shut down long enough to clean things up, to give people a chance to get tested. We need mass testing across the board for every state, for everyone that is cooperative and wants testing. They should get testing. It should be made readily available. That should be this country's priority, not the economy, not getting businesses back up and going, because without the people, there is no business. Without the customers, there is no business. So we have to prioritize and take care of health first. And then we can worry about the economy. We can come together and rebuild this economy. But if the people aren't present to do so, if their lives are taken, you can't get them back. We can print the money, but you can't get a life back. So thank you so much for calling in, everybody. I'm going to go ahead and close things out for tonight. This will be available for everyone to hear after the show is over, and we're definitely not going to stop here. If you guys want to continue this conversation in any capacity, if you want to reach out to me, you can send an email to contact@l3brand.com, and I'll give that to you again, and I'll spell it as well. It's contact@l3brand.com. That's spelled CONTACT at the letter L, the number 3, B as in boy, R, A, N, D as in dog.com. Email me, contact me. You can also follow on Facebook. I will respond directly to you. Facebook.com/L3Promotions. You can just look up Elizabeth Smith on there as well, but the direct URL is Facebook.com/L3Promotions. I look forward to hearing from everybody after the show. Reach out to me. Let me know what else is on your mind. And, I want you to be encouraged that you're not in this alone. There are people that are rooting for you, that are supporting you. And I'm sending love to everybody. So please take care. Be safe. If you're not feeling well, if you are experiencing symptoms or you feel like you've been exposed, please, 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 please go get checked out. It's so important. You guys have a blessed one. And until next time, bye-bye.